everything is all set up and ready to go. Really stream-wise. Let's see if I can't finally finish one of these today. Alright, let's get started. Oi! First thing to do is to get this glow effect working properly. Oh, what up, Alex? What the hell are you doing here? My king, inshallah. Oh my god. Dude, check out the work so far. I also added like this super hot pink glow on the shoulder guards, and I think that really kind of helps make them look a little bit cooler. Because the like purple to the light pink looks really good, but I felt kind of like it was a little bit boring. But I think with that like hot pink glow right there, it looks just cool enough without adding too much, you know? Alex, though, look what I got, brother. It's Fulgrim. I got them all primed up and ready to paint. This dude is so big, though, man. When are you gonna paint something, Alex? Oh hell yeah, dude! I hope he gives me those towel for him to paint. I really want to paint those towel now. Oh, you got your stuff done, dude? You didn't show me pictures. Alright. But now I gotta be really careful so I don't screw this up. first I'm gonna go over this with the white, and then I'm gonna go back over it with the blue, and then finally again with the white. That's the plan. Dude, I was reading the book about the Emperor's Children and how they turned to chaos and whatnot, and the way that they actually created these fucking sonic weapons is insane. Oh damn, I used way too much white in this. Oh, that sucks. I hate wasting paint like this, but I don't think I have anything else I can use it on right now. I can't remember. Did you guys ever get airbrushes and stuff like that, or are you still using cans? too thin. Let me fix this. Ah! Let's try that. That's a little bit better. Let's try that again. That's better. Whew. Stuff like this is tedious, but man, is it worth it. This trigger is really stiff. It hurts my finger. Pull it back. Next thing to do, let this dry, and then we're going to hit it with some of the white again. Alright, clean this bad boy out. One thing that I noticed, which is kind of really starting to eat at my progress, is that, like, as I'm reading more and more in the Horus Heresy books, I'm encountering different legions and shit like that, and then I get interested in those, and then I want to go paint them instead. Like, you know, originally I was very ride or die for Thousand Suns, and then I kind of got interested in the World Eaters, painted them for a little bit, and then, you know, now I've been really into Emperor's Children for a couple of reasons, mostly because I got the box for hella cheap, but then I just read Fulgrim, but now I'm kind of back on the Thousand Suns, because I'm reading A Thousand Suns, which is the pretty good book, so it's a never-ending cycle, just bouncing between Chaos Legions, I guess. But I remember, Alex, you're a big Necron guy, but I can't remember which of the actual legions did you like? Like Chaos or Loyalist. I don't remember. Wait, where'd my brush go? Hey, yo, where's my brush? Oh, there it is. It's too much. It's just right. Man, I still just cannot believe how long painting trim takes. The chaos tax indeed, as people have said. I never feel like I'm getting better at it. That's the part that sucks the most. Or maybe better is not the right word. Faster? I feel like I'm never getting faster at painting this stuff. Pretty sure I would have been done with my Thousand Suns, my World Eaters, and these Emperor's Children if there just wasn't so much trim. Hell yeah, it looks cool, but man, so much. have to admit that after reading all the Emperor's Children, well, not all of it, but the stuff so far, and I don't know, some of the stuff that I've read ahead already, I don't know, I feel like the Emperor's Children are gonna be the hardest faction for like Games Workshop and 40K to like continue kind of using in the future, just because I think they're way too misunderstood in terms of, even I, when I was first learning about 40K and whatnot, I thought that Slanesh was just all about like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So it's like, with the environment nowadays as opposed to like, 10 years ago, a lot of people are much more, what's the term, like avoidant of like sexual stuff in any way whatsoever. I mean, a good example of that is like how YouTube polices a lot of speech nowadays, or a lot of imagery that 5 years ago was much more like, just like a viewer discretion advised warning, as opposed to like just kind of straight up censorship. So I think, because Slanesh's thing has always been excess, but I think that was always really more portrayed in terms of like excess in terms of like sexual deviancy and whatnot, just because, it's a primal thing, a part of humanity, and that's seemingly not a unique trait, I don't want to say, but in the setting of 40K, like, as opposed to like the Eldar, for one, they can't really like breed. It's like really, really difficult or complicated for Eldar to have children, or at least before Slanesh was born and whatnot. But humanity, one of the things that really seems to have benefited us is that, evolutionarily, it seems like races will evolve either to be incredibly long-lived or to be able to, breed quickly. And humanity seems to fall more along the lines of reproduce quickly. So I think that like innate need for humanity to procreate is, it's a part of our DNA. It's a part of what drives us biologically to succeed and everything. So I think that's why that's so prevalent in terms of excess, because it's a fundamental part of human nature. But man, like, getting away from that and finding other things to really emphasize excess just seems to be, I don't know, at least the perception in people who aren't a part of the Warhammer community and whatnot would have a really hard time seeing past that. There's like a really famous quote years and years and years ago when when the Parental Advisory Commission, which was headed by fucking Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, they would call a whole bunch of musicians to like testify, and the singer for Twisted Sister, Dee Snider, gave a really, really good statement to the committee, and she was saying that his music was like sexual and explicitly making remarks about sex, but he countered saying that it actually was about the throat surgery of their guitarist, I think, or something like that. And he says that he believes all music is subjective and everybody finds their own interpretations and experiences in art and music. So he was saying that if Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, sees sadomasochism and shit like that in his music, then that's on her. Like, it's not what he wrote it about, but he said, if that's what she sees, that's what she sees or hears. I think that's the same thing with people who like look at Warhammer from a distance. Like, all the Slaneshi demons have one tit and one male tit. I think they're gonna look at that and immediately just not really kind of see past the very surface level part of it. I don't know. I feel like the Emperor's Children actually could be a lot more nuanced than some of the other gods. And their factions, I should say. Like, I mean, Thousand Suns are kind of a meme. As much as I love them and the aesthetic and stuff like that and the magical aspect, I feel like Tzeentch as a whole and Thousand Suns are kind of a meme. Where it's just like, plans within plans within plans within plans. And it's just, but, you know, nothing ever really goes anywhere. But that's Tzeentch, man. It's change for the sake of change, not change for a purpose. But that's literally chaos. But I don't know, what are you gonna do? It's a fucking board game. I feel like I'm talking myself into I'm 15 and this is deep kind of argument, which is not smart. Changing topics though, man. I really want to get a better camera. I'm actually using my phone right now, and it works fine, but no matter how much I mess with the white settings or the brightness settings, it just seems to always be too bright. But if I try to cover or reduce the brightness or whatever, it's just never clear. So I don't know. I follow a bunch of people on YouTube and I watch them and their painting videos, and they never seem to reply to messages. I'm always like, hey, what's your setup? And never gotten a reply. Oh, hi, son. Hello.
Hello. Papa に会いたかったよって。
Oh, you wanted to see me?
パパパパ言った。
How come you always say my name, but whenever I try to hang out with you or hug you and stuff, you say Papa no, huh? No, son, please don't touch that. Please don't touch that.
今さ見て見てパパ無理無理してさ録画してる。
Now he can touch it. Now he can touch it. But don't let him touch the keyboard, please.
これは触っていいよ。
You sure like the bright lights, huh, don't you, son? Everything has to be RGB nowadays. Oh, hey, take a look, babe. next step is to add white at the brightest points to make it look like it's glowing. But what do you think about these? I added this like hot pink glow. I think it really kind of breaks up the color really well. So I feel like it was too pink, like too like that pale pink. Like, but I think by adding that hot blue glow or hot pink glow, it does a good job about making it look a bit more. Well, no, because like they all used to be one color like that, right? And it was just too much purple to pink. So I think just adding that little bit of hot pink glow is enough to really kind of make it look interesting, but not too busy. Hi, son. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's the texture. I think he's just like me. I think texture is just as important as a taste. Does texture not matter for you when you eat?
I like the meat sauce too, so.
Yeah, but I asked about texture. Like,
Meat sauce texture isn't bad for me.
let's see. I'm talking about in general. Like, I like the taste of natto. I just don't like the texture of it. Because to me, natto just tastes like soybean. Tastes like a very strong soybean, but which is, you know, I like soybean. It's good. What are you doing, boy? Yeah, that's the vacuum. I was using it to clean up all the cat hair in here. Awesome. Is that one connected? Yeah, okay, yeah, he can use it. Here you go. You're welcome, bud. Have fun. I don't know if you can hear, but my wife and my son are here right now. My little boy is playing with the spare keyboard and mouse. My wife is just chilling, watching me paint my little nerdy figures. My wife thinks painting figures is sexy, huh? She thinks it's so hot. It makes her so excited. She just can't contain herself. She is just waiting for me to end stream so we can go practice some Slaneshi excessiveness. I've never seen Bone sleep in that, actually. What the heck? He's all tucked in that. He looks like a muffin, doesn't he? You having fun, boy? Alright, I think this guy's done. Or, I mean, like at least the trim. Mr. Rin, you were so curious. Yeah, curious. Yeah, all my stuff. It's my stuff. What are you asking for, son? What is it? Yeah, go ahead. It's not gonna work though, son. There's no battery. Oh man, don't forget to clean your paint before it dries. Pain in the butt. Alright, should work. Now to repeat the same process as last time. White, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Should be enough. Very small amount. Alright, and a little bit of water. I feel like an alchemist sometimes. Needs to be a little bit runny, just a little bit. There we go. Consistency reminds me of like hot sugar you pour over like cinnamon rolls and stuff like that. I'll load up the brush, some water. Let's see how it goes. Might be a little bit overloaded, so let's take off a little bit of paint like that. It's not as clearly defined as like if you use oil paints, but it works, I think. Definitely has a glowing type effect. Hopefully it looks better when it's dry. Crazy boy.
ボンボンぴょんしたね。ボンボンぴょんしたね。うん。ボンボンがしたボンボン大丈夫だよね。
Cat is terrified of my son.
タワーの上だったら大丈夫だよ。おいで。うん、で。
Yes, son.
なんかネジが落ちたぜ。
Ah, it's from my chair.
キーボードこれお片付けしといて。ありがとう。ありがとう。正直持っといていい。
Hmm. Bye bye. My wife, unable to contain herself any longer, has to leave. It's just too much for her. I think it looks pretty cool. It's a subtle effect, but I think it works really well. Definitely think I need to invest in some oil paints, though. It's just the pigment quality and the pigment density is just going to be so much better, and it's going to make stuff like this work better. But in a pinch, you know, if I don't have it, but I wanted to try it, it definitely works. And I think the more subtle effect is definitely useful on different things. Yeah. Surprised at how much I like the blue to purple to light blue kind of thing going on, though. Alright, so with the Noise Marine template kind of done, now I know what I want to do with the rest of my Noise Marines. I did see online there was a cheap conversion for like the crazy guitar wielding not afro, like mohawk metalhead style Noise Marine that I think I want to use one to look like. I still need a few to finish some certain details, like with this glow here, I think that's going to be pink. The eyes are going to be like the hot pink to kind of unify them. I don't know what color that I want the, I don't know, people call it a dick flag, to be. And then I just need to finish the metallics and small details like the pouch and whatnot. But I mean, the main parts are done. All that's left is just cleaning up. I don't feel like building another Noise Marine, so I'm gonna do that later. I had painted Lucius, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like really torn between it. Like, I like it, I don't like it. I feel like the chaoticness of it and whatnot is cool and everything, but I mean, obviously it's very rough because it's middle of the paint job, but yeah, I don't know, just something about it that I don't really enjoy. I usually feel like that until like the very end of my paint jobs anyway, so maybe I should just keep going on. We will see. I only have six more Space Marines or Emperor's Children left to trim, which sucks. But we're almost there. I have 14 finished. Jesus. I didn't realize I was doing that much. But I have 14 to finish. Or excuse me, I finished 14 and I have 6 more to go. So 20 in total. Which I don't think I'm ever going to do batch painting ever again. I think I'm just going to do one by one from now on. You know, like if I ever end up trying to build another army or whatnot of at least Chaos Space Marines, I think I'm going to focus on the more interesting units first, and then whenever I'm bored or have time, I'll just put one, you know, a grunt unit together and just paint that from start to finish one by one. Because man, doing everything all at once, I mean, yeah, it's more unified. I think probably all the colors look much better and consistent, but whew, is it not very fun? At least for me, not very fun for me. I do have a fun idea for a kit bash though, because I got some some, oh shoot, I forgot what that's called. Death Watch? Yeah, Death Watch minis for free when I visited my Warhammer shop. And, I mean, I'm never gonna build Death Watch army, so I have a whole bunch of leftover parts though from Emperor's Children, Thousand Sons, and Emperor's Children. So I'm thinking about, because I have three minis individually, which is awesome because I have three. You know, I've got Slanesh, Khorne, and Tzeentch parts. So I might try to create like a corrupted version of each. You know, if I don't know, whatever. But I also just want to practice kit bashing. Like, I really want to get into that, but I'm really scared about cutting into an expensive model. this backpack finished, or power pack. You know, it's strange how I remember when I first started painting, the biggest issue I had, I think most people, if not everybody has, is not knowing how to get the right paint consistency. And I remember looking up so many different guides and videos and going on Reddit and whatnot, and everybody always tells you like milk, consistency of milk. I don't know, but for me, and I'm guessing a lot of people, one day it just kind of clicked. Like you just kind of figured out the right mixture of water to paint. Because you just can't use like an exact like, oh, it's this much, because depending on the paint that you're using, the pigment and whatnot, it's different. You know, that each paint is not exactly the same. The pigments have different levels of opacity and viscosity, and even the pigments used for the color themselves are different sizes, like in terms of like their actual like size of, like if you were to like look at them in a microscope, which also affects stuff like dilution and whatnot. So it's weird how that works. You just, you know, it's a literal skill that you learn. And definitely I think diluting acrylic paint is a lot more difficult than diluting oil paint. Oil paint's really easy because it doesn't dry. It just takes a long time for oil paint to dry, so you can just tinker with it and experiment and try your best to figure out what works. And just, you just have almost no opportunity to do that with oil paint. You just have to fail and fail and fail and fail until kind of finally you're like, oh, okay. One mistake that I made constantly, and I still make too, is that I don't clean my brush enough. Like, because you know, you're not using all of the paint on your brush every time, even when you reload. And that paint's going to eventually dry in the ferrules and whatnot, and that's going to affect how the paint flows. So, you know, like every couple minutes, it's a good idea just to wet the whole brush, clean it off, start fresh. These are the things I've learned in my short time painting Warhammer miniatures. Things that I didn't really have to worry about when I was painting with oil paints and whatnot. Like right now, I'm feeling like it's not flowing very well, so I'm just gonna give it a real good clean, get all of the paint off the brush. And then load it back up with some paint. And that's how I roll. I'm actually really enjoying painting these little exhaust ball things, just all black. I feel like it adds a really good amount of contrast to the whole mini. This guy's done. Fitter now. At least with the trim. And that's where I'm going to leave